Oh. Welcome to episode 63 of the Switchmania Playcast.
It's a Mario Sode.
Oh, you stole what I was gonna say.
A sode.
There's no way you were gonna say that.
You don't know that.
You gotta be more original.
You don't know that.
Exactly.
You don't know me.
Get out of my head, JP.
Oh my gosh, what a crazy time. Every week we start off a episode differently now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's too fun though. Well, everybody, we are back with another Playcast. Final couple weeks of our pre-order for Super Blood Hockey for Premium Edition games. And the Switch Collector is still available for sale on both PremiumEditionGames.com and HagensAlley.com. I think we're at we probably have about less than 30 now on each site. Definitely less than 30 on each site. So make sure if you've been jonesing to get a copy and you want the first printing, definitely make sure you get a copy soon. Because with all the Switch collectors, if you miss it, there's no FOMO or nothing. Like, you can get your copy, but you may have to wait years. We're doing a thing right here with the Playcast and with Premium Edition. We're doing a thing. Might take a little bit of time, like making video games, making games. As always, we appreciate any 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts. I haven't checked in a while. Have you guys checked to see if we have any more than the 166 that we had like a while ago?
I checked the other day, actually, nothing new.
Nothing new? Because I thought JP required people to go there.
Yeah, it's in my giveaway.
Uh-oh. Nobody's qualified for the giveaway. That'd be hilarious.
Everybody was disqualified.
Everybody's disqualified. We get the Switch. 169 ratings.
One job.
169 ratings.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So we
maybe
got
it's
some
because I played at the very bottom, and there's like 14 things that you could do to be eligible for the giveaway. So maybe I need to move that up in like the last 2 weeks towards the top, so it's one of the first few that people see.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I mean,
well, actually, let me rephrase. I didn't make people leave a 5-star review. I just had them follow us on Apple Podcasts.
Which is perfect. That's actually.
I don't know how many followers we have now, but hopefully a lot more.
Yeah, we appreciate though any kind of star ratings because it does help us with searchability on Apple.
Yes.
And now on Anchor, it was weird because it decides every other day if it wants to disappear or not. So. But it does pop up there, and people are able to listen. I know we had a lot of feedback from last episode, people enjoying what we were talking about. I don't know if you saw any feedback online, JP, with any tweets, but I did have some listeners reach out to me, and they were enjoying all the craziness of my predictions for Zelda and that it was gonna happen, even though I did not predict the right game. But they were like, hey, you got your Zelda announcement that you talked about in the Playcast. I was like, I did. That's awesome. And then I didn't watch it at that point, so everybody spoiled it for me. Y'all jerks. No, it was pretty cool. I love it. So should we jump over to the news since I kind of led us to it?
Yeah, it was a big news week.
All right, whoever has it, because I don't.
Harry, go for it.
I don't have it. I'm lost. I'm worthless.
Go for it. Yeah, it's surprising because we recorded the last episode on a Monday, and now it's Friday, and it's only 4 days in between. It's like, oh, well, there's probably not a lot. And it was a big news week, like really shocker. So the biggest probably thing was Nintendo. Again with these shadow drop announcements. This is the third one in a row with no notification at all. Comes out of nowhere with a video addressing Breath of the Wild 2, saying that Breath of the Wild 2 needs some more time. Obviously, COVID hit them, and they want to make sure the game is perfect. So 2021 for Breath of the Wild 2, there goes one of my predictions at the beginning of the year. But instead, we wound up getting a brand new Hyrule Warriors game, Age of Calamity, which is launching in November. It's their big November game. It is obviously a follow-up to Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U, 3DS, and the Switch. But this time, the team is working very closely with the actual Zelda team to create a true prequel to Breath of the Wild, telling the story of 100 years in the past, which personally I thought the second DLC pack was going to do that, and it didn't, and I was a little disappointed with it. So this is going to tell that story. It is going to be the Warrior style, and it looks fantastic.
I did think it was very interesting that how they put it, that they're working very closely. Like, I mean, like, we're going to get our classic Hyrule Warriors, Dynasty Warriors style gameplay, but in reality, it may be a lot closer to Breath of the Wild than we're thinking. And as long as they don't bring the weapon breakage over, I think we'll be okay. Like, the graphics look amazing. Graphics look amazing. I mean, I have no issues at all, honestly.
Yeah. So I'll jump in. I mean, for me, I did not play Hyrule Warriors, when it came out on the Wii U or even on the Switch. And what's funny, just to sidestep a little bit, is that all of a sudden everybody wants Hyrule Warriors. I don't know if you've noticed that online, but
of course they do.
Everybody's searching for it. And then the comments I keep seeing is like, this is like a 2-year-old game. Why does everybody want it all of a sudden? And it makes sense. You want to, when a sequel comes out to a series, you always want to kind of jump back. And
that's a early year 2 game, aka Switch Collector Volume 2 name drop.
Yep.
But in reality, it's on the cover of Volume 2, and we do have the cover. Like, it looks amazing. But yeah, we have the link with the Hyrule Warriors little neckerchief.
The blue scarf.
What'd you call it? The blue scarf?
The blue scarf, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what's really cool is that this is starting to now remind me of the Kingdom Hearts series, where you're getting all these additional stories. And granted, technically this is the second story in the Breath of the Wild series, on the Switch, but it's a prequel, and it could potentially lead up to maybe when kind of the events of the first game, begin with Link coming out and whatnot, and
Link going into a coma.
Yeah, but what I like a different style of gameplay, so it's going to be action heavy. It's going to have the story in between, and I think it's a really smart way to not only just have another Nintendo title, but kind of bring people back to Breath of the Wild, because there are people who are still playing it or are just playing it. But someone like me that beat it a while ago, I wasn't gonna jump into Breath of the Wild really until the second one came out, and now I have this prologue to the first game that gets you all reinvigorated, excited again, and it kind of like holds you over until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out now.
100%. Yeah, I loved the original Hyrule Warriors. I played it to death on the Wii U, way more than I thought I would. I didn't play the Switch version or the 3DS version, but I'm really wanted to kind of get back into that world. And if you play that game, it was done by Zelda fans. It's a love letter to the entire Zelda series, and just so much care was taken into it. Nintendo noticed, and that's why Nintendo wanted to tell this story and felt, hey, this is more like a Warriors thing. This is large scale battles. This isn't going to be dungeon crawlers, and it really fits. And what's cool is we went into this year going like, oh, we're going to get Breath of the Wild 2, and now they've actually turned it into a trilogy, because this is really a prequel. This is actually a trilogy at this point, which is awesome. And we talked last episode about how Nintendo stated they wanted to do one Zelda a year, and it really looked like Cadence of Hyrule Physical was what they were going to have to lean on. But no, instead we do get a Zelda this year with Cadence of Hyrule as a bonus, just like it was last year. It was a bonus, and that's really crazy, because we're in halfway through year 3, and this is going to be our 5th Zelda game on the platform.
Oh darn.
Well, not counting like SNES Online or NES Online kind of deal.
Sitting here with my my Zelda tattoos. Oh darn, more Zelda. Oh boy. What games do you count?
I will say,
what games do you count, Barry, for the 5?
I was counting Breath of the Wild. I was counting Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. I was counting Link's Awakening, Cadence of Hyrule, and now Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. And obviously Breath of the Wild 2, or whatever it's called when it comes out. But this is going to be the 5th game. I don't really count the NES Online or SNES Online, because that's not really like not necessarily exclusive, but it's more like a service. It's not like this is actually being released for the Switch.
Well, and you can't own it.
You can't own it either.
Can't own it because once the service goes down or goes away, those games and experiences go away.
You forget the service. Even if you stop having like subscribing, it checks every week.
Exactly. Even if you're not online at your house.
Yeah. So those other 5 though you can own, and I count those as the 5 Zelda games so far.
Okay, so I like it.
I will say, so I'm on the Zelda website because, there are some questions about, what the game encompasses and supports. So I do want to let people know, in case you didn't realize, is that you can pass a Joy-Con to a friend and take on Calamity Ganon as a team in local co-op multiplayer. Fight side by side or divide your efforts to cover more ground, complete objectives, or defeat the forces of darkness. Plus, it has dozens of cutscenes. Yeah, and it has cutscenes that sheds new light on Zelda, for Champions, King of Hyrule, more. It sounds like it's really everything that we would want. And I'm excited because, you know what, Breath of the Wild was really one of the few Zelda games that I've actually beaten to completion. I put 110 hours into it with the 2 DLC expansions, and I loved it. And I know I didn't do everything in the game, like I didn't find all of the Korok seeds and things like that, but I loved the game, and I loved the world that it built. And the fact that now you can jump in, and again, it's going to be action heavy, which is great for someone like me that, kind of will have to play it in bursts. And I think this is great where you have like levels in a sense. Mm-hmm. You'll do objectives or missions, and then you can kind of pause the game and then jump in again. But I'm really looking forward to it. Everything about it just screams a win for people wanting a Zelda game. Mm-hmm. So, and what's really nice is we won't have to wait long. It's November 20th. That's 2 months away, which is crazy because how fast Nintendo is now just dropping games, where we thought Pikmin was going to be like that big holiday game that we'll get, and in 2 weeks time we're getting Mario 3D All-Stars, and they just shadow dropped the release on that. They dropped the release on this one, and there's still no December. We still don't even know if they're going to do anything else in December.
Don't we get Mario next week?
Yeah,
next
my goodness. Oh my goodness.
How crazy is that?
Well, there's all these short, and people love this short window between announcement and release. I love it as well, but you have to think, like, this wasn't originally Nintendo's plan. This was because of Corona. Like, all these announcements were most likely going to be their E3, and because of everything, they just held back and waited till they were sure they can get the games out and then announced it. That includes Pikmin 3, that includes Paper Mario. Those were all announced so quickly before they come out, and I'm imagining they're all part of Nintendo's E3, which is what we're getting now.
My prediction is that is the last shadow drop we see, which is part of their E3 package. Like I feel like Zelda was probably their one more thing, because Mario was the big one, and then one more thing. Here's our Zelda, and then unless we have some kind of teaser with a status update, not really a release window, but a status update on Metroid Prime 4. That'd be the only thing I could see that they would have done at E3, that they would at least said some kind of update. I know that it's back to the drawing board or whatever, so I don't think there's any way we're going to see a date, but we might see something.
My prediction is outside of, because we're getting more information on September 26th for Hyrule Warriors. They stated that. We can mark it in the book. Outside of that, I do feel there's going to be at least one more partner direct this year, and maybe something at the Game Awards. But I do think you're right. I think everything else has been held over. And I have Metroid Prime 4, along with the trilogy, which has been rumored forever, I believe will be next year, because next year is Metroid's 35th anniversary, like it is Zelda's. So it's a perfect time to do trilogy as an anniversary thing, and Metroid Prime 4.
Man, think about how crazy year 5 could be if we get Metroid Prime trilogy, Metroid Prime 4 potentially, and Breath of the Wild 2.
Well, it's also going to be Zelda's 35th anniversary.
That's what I'm saying. Year too. But we get Breath of the Wild 2, like, pretty much they're talking about it if it doesn't get pushed, which Zelda always notoriously gets delayed, but...
Yeah.
Well, it just did get delayed. And what about the Skyward Sword leak or a rumor, and what about, maybe Wind Waker and Twilight Princess coming over and other things?
3D All-Stars.
Yeah, could be. Zelda 3D All-Stars.
I gotta ask both of you a question, because it really makes me think where we started, when we started seeing all these ports coming over. And I remember a lot of people going like, another port. And this is like, 2 years ago, even like 3 years ago. But now here we are with Mario 3D All-Stars. It's the #1 seller on Amazons across the world. It's sold out. I mean, it looks like it's sold out on Amazon US, where it's still available at Best Buy, Walmart. But now I feel like we want all these ports, we want all these remasters, and it's not even that we necessarily need new games. It's just like the thought of like, wow, we may get a whole Zelda collection of games from various consoles in the past. We may get the Metroid Prime Trilogy collection again, and we haven't seen that since the Wii. And I don't really see people complaining as much anymore. And I don't know if you still do.
Because you're not looking, JP. No. No. In reality, though, people want great games, and that's what they want. They want good experiences. We haven't really seen a solid up-resed Mario 64 outside of fan communities. I think the last time we saw Mario 64 was on the Wii. I could be wrong. But Mario 64 really hasn't been touched. And then Mario Sunshine really hasn't been messed with. So, people have been wanting those. And I really think because of the 3D collection, you remember it was a year or two ago, and we even used it as a picture, Mario chilling on his beach chair. And, so that right there was, confirmation. So I think nowadays, the vocal minority online who do all the comments and everything, I think they really want to be surprised by things, but they also want to be able to predict. And everyone's like, "Oh, see, I told you Sunshine was coming." Now they're all happy. It's really weird. They still found something to complain about because we didn't get Galaxy 2, and they're still complaining. Did you see the article on Galaxy 2? Did you see the article on Galaxy 2?
Oh, about the whole...
So basically, so basically, the program team wasn't really happy during the production of Mario Galaxy 2 to the point where that is the prediction why we aren't seeing Mario Galaxy 2 even mentioned in the video when they did the history because of the negativity that the team had for it while they were creating it. Interesting.
Well, I don't necessarily think that was the reason it was left out of the medley, because there were other games left out of the medley at the end.
A lot of
Mario
Land
Land 2. A lot of New Super Mario Brothers 2. A lot of 2s. I'm saddened to hear that's what it was like in terms of development, and they did talk about it like the Majora's Mask kind of deal, where they just had to kind of make it and they didn't really want to, in a sense. But it came out really well, and they should be proud of that, even if they didn't, they weren't happy at the time.
Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020. It's something that hopefully they could look back and go, you know what, we didn't really enjoy making it. It was pretty grueling, but you know what? At least we made a game that, places rated a 10, that people love. I mean, could you imagine if you hated making a game, you were forced to make a game, and when you put it out, it got a 4.5 Metacritic score? That'd be an extra blow.
Yeah.
Now, one thing we didn't touch on, and I'm curious about your guys' opinions on this, because people have been talking about it, especially with this Hyrule Warriors, is on the cover, it shows the 4 champions, it shows Zelda, and it shows Link, but it also very, very, predominantly shows what appears to be a baby guardian, or people call it a portal turret, and some people speculate this is going to be an extra playable character. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I did not know this, but I'm going to look it up right now.
Oh, really? Yeah, right there on the cover, it appears to be a baby guardian, and it's so people think it's a playable character because it's right there. It's so close with the others. People are falling in love with this thing. They want to pet it. They want to own one. What do you guys think of this?
You know what it looks like to me? I don't know if either of you've watched Dragon Ball GT, but that little annoying ass robot here, that's what it looks like. I mean, here's the thing. How many playable characters were there in the original Hyrule Warriors? There were tons, right?
There were tons, and even more added.
Huh.
Oh, that's absolutely either going to be a playable character, or it's going to be your helper character, or both. It's on the cover. There's no way that's not a major part. They're not going to show an enemy on the cover like that. It's going to be a playable. Right. I mean, it shows all the heroes predominantly. So yeah, little what was his name? Hero.
Gyro was.
Yeah, there we go. Little Gyro Guardian Gyro over here is going to be the.
You think you'll be able to play as Calamity Ganon?
Well, maybe Ganon and Ganondorf were both playable in the Hyrule Warriors.
I wonder, whose perspectives are we going to? We obviously know that people on the cover, we're going to see their perspective, but I wonder from the other side too.
That's a good.
I always find it interesting. Like, you take Super Mario Odyssey and you get to play as Bowser even just for a little bit, and it's fun, and it's just like something you don't expect. And I feel like with this, it'd be really interesting to see all sides of the story.
Wonder if you get to play as one of the bad ninjas.
The Yiga clan.
Yeah, you play as like the main
cool.
Yiga guys.
They are in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be interesting.
Now, can we talk about the most important thing in this entire game?
Oh,
Sure.
The Lucky Ladle.
Oh God, that is digital only.
So for those of you who don't know, it's a digital version pre-order bonus. It's one of the weapons Link can use in the game. You can equip this for battle, paired with a pot lid, or you can fuse it with other weapons for stat boosts. And then in little small print, it says, this item will not be immediately available to owners of the package version of the game, but may be offered as a paid item at a later date. But a digital version, you'll get it included. I'm not a fan of that.
Not a fan.
And I don't know why.
Don't like that Nintendo's doing that and promoting it.
I'm surprised. Like, I always didn't think that they cater to more so to the online market, but I feel like this could have easily, at the very minimum, just been a little piece of paper inside the case.
You get more gold coins for a digital purchase than a physical purchase.
You do.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Did not know that.
It's utter garbage. Like, they do not care for physical gamers.
Hey, maybe one day we're gonna see a Switch digital only.
Look at how many games they've put out. Even like for example, Bayonetta 1. With that whole debacle. Why you made it in one region, you can make it in others. Nope.
Right.
Interesting. Ironically, one thing I don't have is, and I think they're reprinting them, but I actually don't have the 4 Guardian Amiibos. I never got them.
They are reprinting them, and they were the same day.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I never did buy them because I think they were like $5 more each, and I always came across them.
They were heavier, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, ooh. So they're doing like a 4-pack, right?
Yeah.
Wonder how much the 4-pack it costs. Because if they were like $15 each, I think before. So I was like, man, I don't want to spend $60 when I could buy a game or 2 games, pretty much.
They're really nice though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I think they're awesome, and I definitely have every other Zelda amiibo. So those are the only ones I'm missing. So
do you think that we know that there's going to be the Cat Mario and Cat Peach next year, and obviously the remaining Smash characters. But do you think this is it for Amiibo? You think they're just going to reprint existing Amiibo when new games come out that take advantage of, in this case?
I would.
I mean, I'm hoping that they open up more to third parties like we had Shovel Knight. Like, that would be cool, because I will tell you, if they do that and there's a way, we will make it happen for our games.
Well, more than Shovel Knight, we had Dark Souls had an Amiibo, and Diablo 3 had an Amiibo as well.
Well, I'm saying open it up to third parties, because they're more bigger companies. But
Or bigger.
Yeah, you open it up to us, like we will put our games on Amiibos. Like, I will make that happen.
Super Blood Hockey Amiibo.
That's what I'm saying. Or a Robot Named Fight Amiibo. Like, think about that.
We have to have one of the skaters who's dead, like on the ice, as the Amiibo.
Oh, yeah, they would absolutely want a gory Amiibo.
We also need a Cloudberry Amiibo.
Berries. Cloudberry Teletubby.
Oh, God.
I could absolutely see Barry getting us banned immediately. Thanks, Barry. This is why we can't have nice things, damn it.
That's true.
Should we move on to something else in the news?
Yeah, what else is going on?
What else you got?
Well, yesterday was the Ubisoft Forward.
Yes, it was.
And it was people were really excited about this one, wondering what they were going to announce, and they announced a couple things. The first is Immortals: Phoenix Rising, which used to be Gods and Monsters.
Yep.
Which looks phenomenal. Absolutely, Breath of the Wild. Talking about Breath of the Wild, looks like Breath of the Wild meets God of War, and is coming out December 3rd, I believe. So that is going to fill that December void. That is coming to the Switch as well as other systems, and it looks way better than I think most people expected it to look. Yep. I was upset that there was no Kid Icarus crossed in like Starlight. I still hope maybe there is something that they'll show off. That's probably the biggest thing. The next biggest I would probably say is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is coming back, and in total tone deaf fashion of Ubisoft, they are not doing a physical. Unbelievable that they would not take this good press of here we're bringing this game back and physical. This is what you wanted, especially after all these allegations and all this, sexual.
Do you really think, with all the teases that Limited Run Games did and all their newsletters about Scott Pilgrim, that they're not going to be printing that? There's no way.
They stated that they were not, had no plans, have no plans for it. This is new to them. They didn't know this was coming. They teased a big announcement and have stated, I think it's on the 25th, they've stated that this has nothing to do with Scott Pilgrim. Super Rare has also chimed in saying that they were completely surprised by this and also have no plans to do physical.
Well, fortunately, JP never said that he was not surprised. So,
I mean, I will say
we never say never from Premium Edition.
Well, I am surprised that Ubisoft isn't doing it themselves, because we all know that, like, maybe 10 minutes after their presentation, the website started getting the not Scott Pilgrim, but what was it, Immortals
Phoenix Rising,
Immortal Phoenix, and the Gold Edition. So the Switch is also getting 2 versions of it. But then Prince of Persia, the remake, Sands of Time, is coming to the Switch, and it's up for pre-order already. But Scott Pilgrim wasn't. So to me, I was very surprised that they wouldn't have just taken the game and done it themselves. Do I think, a limited company is going to put it out? Yeah. I am going to be very surprised if we don't see a physical. Now, I view this now with the announcement as that, what movie was that where, like, you had the big pot of money at the end and everyone had to race for it? It was like
Ready
Mad
Player
Race,
One? No.
Mad World or something like that.
Oh,
Ready Player One. No.
Well,
you gotta drive back.
But I literally picture, like, every single now, like, limited indie publisher just, like, having this, like, impromptu meeting going, like, you just saw that, right? We got to get on that. And, like, everybody around the world is thinking the same thing. Because it's like, I mean, I'll just throw it out there. I mean, Premium Edition games, we'll do it for free. We'll give you all the money. Just give us the game. That's right. That's right. I said that without any consulting with Jeff or Barry. But I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is going to be one of those games that if they're really not going to be publishing it themselves, it's going to go to the highest bidder. I mean, it has to. And it's crazy that, nothing is lined up right now. So I have a feeling that by the time the game comes out, which I think is supposed to be holiday season, I feel we're going to hear some kind of announcement somewhere from someone that, a physical is coming. But I will say the funny thing is Hard Copy Games put out a tweet and they're like, we're really surprised no one asked us if we're doing a physical. We're not. I almost wanted to respond and just hand them like a gif of like us giving them a drink or something, like we're right there with you. Yeah. But
yeah,
I mean,
but like really, JP, we've been around for a cup of coffee. Like in reality, like once we actually have some games out in people's hands, then I feel like we'll be in the game. Like until then, like I'm literally submitting and talking with Nintendo every day. So like on multiple game releases. So it's not like we're not making things happen. But no, the games aren't in people's hands yet. Until the games are in people's hands, they're not going to be taking us as serious as the other companies yet. But we'll be there.
I will say this though, unbeknownst to both of you, is that I do have a feeler into Ubisoft.
I'm not surprised.
Whether anything comes of it or not, I would say the percentage chance is like that 0.001. But I'm just saying that if they're saying that there's nobody committed to this game and everybody wants it, absolutely, I'm going to at least ask the question and we'll see if we get a response. So,
I mean, in reality, like we talk to everyone. Like, I mean,
no game is too big or too small for us to look at. And
we're
this
part
is
of the
one that
everyone.
literally started trending the minute that the developer, the creator, he literally was just like trolling everyone. He's like, I have an announcement to make, and like he got like thousands of retweets, and then he's like, go to www.ubisoft.com / thousands of likes, and then he's like, I'm a really tall guy, and he got like a lot of likes, and then obviously the announcement went out, and it was the trending item like immediately. So. This game not getting a physical, I don't believe that at all. Or not getting a physical, I don't believe that at all.
Yeah,
we're going to get one somehow.
Yeah, I really hope we do. It would be a shame if this didn't. But like you alluded, other things. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time is getting a remake, and that is has been hinted that the Switch is going to get it, but a couple months later, like 2 months after the other systems.
Yeah.
Happy to see that.
It's up at GameStop, and what's really cool is you can unlock the original 1989, I think it was that year, version of the game. And apparently, there's also a way to like switch the visuals between the original and the remaster.
Nice. They had that in the original game. You can unlock the original Prince of Persia.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So at least they're keeping that in there, and I'm excited because the Prince of Persia series was really fun, and then they had Two Sands and I forgot.
It was Sands of Time.
There was Prince of Persia 2.
Yes, there was. There were both. There were three. Three was 3D.
Well,
there
yeah.
Was Prince of Persia 2, Prince of Persia 3D, and a couple like other little like Prince of Persia mobile, I think. But
I actually liked the Prince of Persia Next Gen, where they call it the same damn name. But I actually enjoyed that, even though it was like handheldy. I did like it.
Did you beat that game?
No.
All right, that game is the ultimate slap in the face, because if you play and beat that game at the very, and this is spoilers for a game in 2008, but still, you beat that game and the whole mission is to stop the big bad, big surprise. So you stop the big bad, but the girl that you're with dies, and the only way to save her is to release the big bad to save her life. So you release the big bad, undoing everything you just did in the whole game, and you carry her away, and she's pissed at you. Then it ends like that, continues in a DLC chapter that doesn't really end satisfactorily, and then they never continued the game. So it's terrible in that regards. They expected it to be bigger, and then of course Assassin's Creed, and that just took off, so they never looked back. But there were 4 games in the Sands of Time trilogy, which is really weird. Because they did Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and then Two Thrones, and then later on they did the Forgotten Sands, and they're all great games. Like they're absolutely great games. If you've never played them, I recommend getting this remake. Everything else they did was, I don't know if anything else was really on the Switch. There was that new like MMO style extreme sports game, which looks cool, but I doubt that's going to hit the Switch. I think it's already out for PS4 and Xbox One pre-orders. Everything else was other systems, but those were the big 3 for Switch, and they look awesome.
Nice. It was a good presentation. I mean, I feel like we're ramping up to the end of the year, and it's just so many announcements now. Like it's insane.
Crazy. Well, and this has been the year of announcements, because like when things got canceled, people started to piecemeal out announcements throughout the year, and it's been tons and tons. There's been more announcements than I feel like if we would have had an E3 and a PAX.
And I still don't know if I would have preferred just having Nintendo's E3 and then we would have already known all these things and just kind of waiting for the release. But this has been fun. I mean, it's a little stressful, of us reporting it because, Jeff, you're at work all day, and like for me, I'm working, and then they shadow drop an entire presentation, and I'm trying to share it while working and watching, and then all of a sudden, pre-orders are starting to pop up for various things, and it's crazy, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of like it. I mean, it's been fun. It keeps things entertaining. It keeps you on your toes, and it keeps things from getting stale, as opposed to all of us waiting for June for a 40-minute presentation, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah, we constantly get a little meat on the bone.
Yeah, and it's good meat.
Hey JP, there was one more piece of news that I saw, maybe more than one more, but I actually saw something online that is interesting. So Dan did our video for the premium edition direct. There was an announcement that there's this Console Wars CBS All Access. They literally stole his logo he created and used it for CBS.
That's insane.
He's been doing Console Wars for years. So that's interesting because like he posted like he was surprised. So I was like, well, maybe he, is part of it. No, he's not. And that's really weird. And it says like it's a selection of a film festival or something.
Well, I remember when I read the book, there was a forward from Seth Rogen and I don't know if it was Adam McKay or somebody else, but they were the ones who were working on it, and I thought it was supposed to be a movie like years ago, and then nothing came of it. And it's funny, after watching the high score and they touch upon this console war a little bit, I was always thinking, like, are we ever going to see console wars based off of the book coming out? And what perfect timing, or is it a coincidence that right after high score now this is coming out? But I'm excited because this is the fun era of gaming, and it's going to be really interesting to see like how much they include, who they interviewed.
Howard Phillips for sure.
Yeah.
And Howard Lincoln, both Howards, because
Yep.
I have the trailer playing as we're talking right now. A lot of Sega and a lot of Nintendo, obviously.
So I saw Wario 64 post it, and I literally clicked on the link, and then all of a sudden Skype started ringing. I was like, oh my god, we got to record, and I really want to watch this trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's literally going to be a lot of people from Sega and Nintendo from the era.
Nice.
We're definitely. I definitely saw a picture of Chris Tang, so we're going to see a little bit more Chris Tang, which is always great. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see like how we actually, how it actually goes. It's weird that they took Dan's logo without asking, but then again, really. Dan just created his logo though from the Nintendo logo and the Sega like fonts, so it's not like it couldn't have been recreated pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's literally the same size. That's where it's like I think that. Yeah, what's up?
I bet they just Googled console wars and it popped up and they just took it.
Oh, I
Or
guarantee.
maybe Dan is in it. We don't know.
Dan is in it. You're in it,
Maybe.
Dan.
You know what? For having done a channel for so long, you never know who they reached out to, and they could have said, "Hey, we like your logo," or they could have just taken it. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing though, is that I just Googled their logo. So it's not the exact same logo because they overlaid Wars over the console part on the Nintendo a little bit more. So they actually did change it just enough. I mean, it's the exact same fonts though, like Nintendo and Sega fonts. Like absolutely. But real interesting.
So Barry, you're absolutely right.
I'm on Dan's side.
Oh yeah,
like 4 days between recordings, so much news.
It really is, like so many announcements, so many just overwhelming. You would think like 4 days, all right, that's not going to be that much to talk about, and instead it's an explosion. And there's some other stuff like in the collector community, of course. I know one of the games that people have been clamoring for and shot up also in value was Mary Skelter 2. And now that's getting a reprint, and it's great to see these reprints coming in, especially for those that really want. They missed out, and now they want. And unfortunately, some of these games are just skyrocketing. Hyrule Warriors we're seeing right now, and it's a double-edged sword when it comes to physical collecting, because it's like, do I open this and play it and enjoy it, or if I just leave it alone for a month, is it gonna like triple in value?
Right.
Well, I will say that when it comes to some of these, it is better to wait, especially when it skyrockets, because with newer consoles, you do have a fluctuation of the market based on hype and based on excitement. It is the same thing. I mean, I've been collecting for 30 years. It's the same thing you see with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. There are fluctuations in price. However, if you wait too long, it turns into an NES Nintendo thing, where now the prices are everyone's like, oh, there's a bubble that's going to burst. Now the prices, because the comic and coin collectors got into the business, now like you can't get any games for affordable price. Because I was actually chatting with Kyle from my old podcast VGBS. We were chatting on the Skype like about a month ago, and he's like, oh yeah, I got to get this CIB of this game. It's probably like $40 now. I go, dude, Google it. He's like, 400. He's like, what? He's like, because he used to be able to spit the prices, the eBay price off the top of his head. He tried, and it's like, no, you're like 10% off. Like I was like, dude. So there is a time, if the hype stays, that it will shoot up and stay collectible. However, there's one thing with this. This has always been my theory with collecting, is that Nintendo, NES, Super Nintendo, even 64, did not have hardcore collectors doing complete sets when it came out. And most of us now that are in our primes threw those boxes away as a kid. Some people got lucky and their parents like put them away. Like I know Kyle, his mom like folded them all up and put them away, and he didn't know.
Smart.
Oh yeah, like me? No, mine were gone, but all my manuals I put in a baggie. So I have all my original manuals. They're all mint, which is crazy.
That's awesome.
But like, but that's the thing is nobody collected the stuff, and when I say nobody, I mean like 90% of people didn't collect it. Now, I mean people buy 2 games, buy one to play, one to save. Like that means that later on, it will not be as valuable for whatever people are collecting. The stuff that's going to be valuable is the stuff nobody thinks to collect.
100%. But to play devil's advocate for you, you're right. You're 100% right. That's the reason why baseball cards were, so valuable and coins and stuff. Like no one thought
90s was terrible for comics because everybody was
comics 90s. Everybody, the garbage. That's what happened. Everyone's saw the market. Well, their comics were good, but everyone thought they were going to be worth billions, and they're worth the same
Beanie
price.
Babies.
Superman
Beanie
died.
Babies.
Yeah, and how many people bought Superman Dies thinking it's going to be worth billions?
And those comics aren't worth much.
That was the problem. I think major characters hadn't really. We're digressing, but with Superman, I remember watching like the documentary after one of the animated movies. And like stores obviously were speculating, people were speculating, like grandparents were coming and buying like 3 or 4 copies because Superman died. And then that kind of ushered in that whole wave of characters dying, making a big deal. Then they're coming back to life.
We didn't say anything about stories or quality, JP. We're just talking about collectability.
Exactly.
No. It's true. But
and
I think what's interesting with the Switch is so many people like myself ended up going for the full set or, a big collection thinking it was going to be manageable. And then out of nowhere, like seriously, it really felt out of nowhere. All these games are coming out to the point where so many people I see now are just unloading their games and going, I can't do this. I'm just going to collect what I want. I can't, afford every game anymore. It's not worth it. And I see more and more people as the years of the Switch are going on that they're changing their mindset. So it is interesting to see kind of like at the very end, who's still in that, 1% of collecting, but also which games now are going to be those hard to get ones that,
Also, what you don't see, too, because I know a lot of collectors in the shadows that don't publicize anything. They don't go on forums. They don't communicate.
Right.
Or if they do, they don't publicize what they do. And I know guys that have the biggest collections, bigger than what's on Guinness. And they just don't they don't brag about it, but they have way more like mansions filled with stuff. There's princes that I know in other countries that were part of Nintendo age back in the day. Princes that have everything. Like there's stuff out there.
They might live in Nigeria, right?
Well, but after sending all that money to them, they better have a big collection.
But to go back to playing devil's advocate, with that is 100% right, and obviously everyone wants to know what's going to be the next stadium events, and people have been speculating consistently with the 360 and the Wii and the PS3 and going on to the current systems. What's going to be the next thing? What's going to be the next levers for the Switch kind of deal? There's no way to know.
You know what it's going to be, Barry?
Super Blood Hockey.
Super Blood Hockey.
Super Blood Hockey, because we're going to print like 3 copies, everyone, and then
and racing with JP.
No, actually, it was a good segue that you gave us. You know what game it's gonna be? Because JP brought it up. Gunlord X. What happened, JP? What happened?
Yeah. No,
I didn't even get to finish my thought, but okay.
No, sorry, Barry. Moving on to Gunlord X.
No, we literally did a segue. You segued us, Barry.
Barry, would you like to finish?
All I was gonna say is,
usually we'll go down like 7 more rivers.
So, obviously with the older stuff where people didn't collect, but you're still seeing that with new stuff where systems after they die, people are, hey, they want to go for a full set. Like full set collecting is like the new big thing. I do it, you do it, we, a lot of people do it. And with the previous generation, with the Vita and the 3DS and the Wii U, people are gunning for those sets. And there were some titles in those sets that have just blew up out of nowhere, and you're talking almost to the getting close to the $1,000 mark. It's like, wait a minute, this is newer stuff. So you never know. It's especially with COVID, the whole collector market is going crazy.
We won't.
Now you go on, JP. Gunlord.
Yeah. So So Gunlord X was a game that got self-published by NG Dev, who had developed the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did. And
They did.
it was right before COVID, so the pre-orders went up on their website. Everybody pre-ordered, and then COVID hit. And what happened was they turned off shipping to the U.S. and it still turned off. So so anybody who had pre-ordered the game, they put it into like a placing hold, so your copy is secure. That's what we thought, and they would ship when they can. And as of right now, they're saying October, November. But when I reached out to them, I had I forget what I asked them, but on their website they said something about like a new printing or a second printing, and they had told me that I asked them if there was going to be a difference between the two because I pre-ordered the original, and they said, well, we're not sure yet if the cover is going to be different, but we'll let you know which one we send out when we start shipping. And in my mind, the first thing I'm thinking is like, I thought you held my first printing copy, and I'm starting to think that may not be the case anymore. They may have shipped out, to whoever they could, and I think they're planning on reprinting to make up, the difference. And all those people in the U.S. who didn't get it may not be getting the original, first printing anymore. And that's a bit of a concern because, obviously as a full set collector, I would probably end up buying both printings if it comes to that. But I don't want to have to now go on eBay or a third-party site to buy what I initially had pre-ordered and thought I was getting.
Have you seen the cover of this one too? Because like people have it on eBay, and it's about $100 shipped, by the way. But there's no they don't have any rating on the front, and then on the back there's like giant white space. Like
I haven't seen the back.
Why would you use so much white space? Like it literally doesn't look like it's conforming to any policies. Because, us being part of it now, like, there are specific things we have to do in the U.S. It must be so much more lenient in Europe. Or they just did what they wanted and didn't care.
No. It's interesting. What's missing is all of the, like, epilepsy and seizure warnings. Like, all of that text is what's missing.
Nothing on there.
Yeah, and that is odd because it's not like, they have the red on the front for the Switch logo, so obviously the coloring wasn't an issue like we saw with Darksiders when they had the black cover and then you realized that all the red text was gone and that was all the warning. But same here, it's like they literally took the template, put everything in, and then didn't put in like the small fine print text.
It's so weird, but that could be our stadium events, as if literally this version is only going out to people that were able to get a copy during COVID, and then when they ship out the US ones, it's one with a rating on it or with a filled out back, or it's a different variant.
And now you're making me wonder what to do. All right, I'll have to
and it's
after.
Double the price of what it was. It's like because like even the
Yeah.
limited editions, which I got a limited edition, it's over $200 on eBay right now, which is crazy.
We'll keep monitoring that one. So if I hear anything, if they get back to me, we'll share that. But yeah, for now, I'm just gonna kind of keep watching that one, and let's hope it doesn't turn into where all of us collectors from the U.S. have to now spend an exorbitant amount.
I mean, I won't be happy if I don't get the version I pre-ordered, but I won't like go out and buy the original because I only get one of each one. It would just be like, hey, I got the first printing. Like, why didn't I pre-ordered it like within minutes, just like we all three of us did. Like, why didn't they just put it aside? Like, if somebody pre-orders stuff, like whatever I do, like they're in the first bucket.
Well, not only that, but they're lying. They specifically state where you're putting yours aside as being held for you. It is reserved for you. If they don't do that, then they are bold-faced lying to not just us, to everybody in the United States. That's a huge clientele to alienate and lie to.
Yeah, that's not something that you can just assume people are okay with. But you know what we say? When like for the typical thinking is that if you pre-order something, it's yours and it's on hold. And I love PlayAsia, but even PlayAsia does a similar thing where you pre-order, let's say 3 or 4 games, and 2 of the 3 are in stock and 1 isn't. They don't hold those 2. So by the time the 3rd game comes in, the first 2 may be sold out, and then you'll get an email saying, "Oh, we're sorry, we don't have enough inventory or whatever, and we had to, refund you for this." And that's interesting because it's like, well, I gave you my money. I don't know why you wouldn't put it aside and why you would just keep selling it. So
yeah, especially when you pay up front, because PlayAsia you pay up front.
Yeah.
And Gunlord, we paid. It wasn't that we put $5 down.
Right.
We paid in full. They have our money.
They have our money and they have our game.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll
So,
never
right now,
get it.
and now I will say the other company right now that isn't shipping to the U.S. is B-Side Games, but
Yes.
I believe, at least from talking with them, if you whatever you pre-order, it's just on hold there. So there's no issue of a reprint or them selling your copy. It's just they don't ship to the U.S. right now. But
weird.
yeah, it's interesting times and something that you never thought would happen.
Do you
Hey,
think how much longer do you think there's going to be this no shipping to the U.S.?
Well, I know
forever.
with NG Dev, they said they were planning October, November, hopefully to start shipping again. B-Side Games, they still didn't have a date. So at this point, I know people in Canada, and it's weird, they're shipping to Canada. They're not shipping to the U.S. So I guess it's just with the carrier services. But at this point, I'm trying to just change my address and just get it on its way to somewhere so I can get
JP's gonna move.
here.
So,
That's a good idea.
speaking of pre-order stuff, Barry, because I know JP saw it. Barry, did you see that that Super Blood Hockey was featured on the back cover of Old School Gamer magazine?
Yes, I did.
Oh
It
my
looks
God.
fantastic.
So mad that I don't have a physical copy of this, JP. Like, I guess, yeah, like...
I didn't write the magazine, sorry.
But yeah, no, it's super cool that they did that. I think, like, since issue 1, they were supposed to, like, get me a copy or something, but I've never gotten an issue. Like, he always gets me a bunch of copies when I see Ryan at conventions, and he's like, yeah, I'll get you copies, and, like, so funny, though. But yeah, it's super cool. Like, that's the second time that, because, like, the Switch Collector Volume 1 was on the back of Switch Player magazine, which is super cool.
Yeah, we had an ad in there, and then also for Super Blood Hockey in September's Video Game Monthly box, there was an advertisement inside, like a 4x6 postcard. So it's really cool to see, the game out there, and thanks to our partners for allowing us to be featured. But the back cover, got to give credit to our graphic designer Erica.
Yes.
She took a classic 90s advertisement and she really made it, really recreated it in such a fun way that it fits so perfectly with Old School Gamer, and looking at it like enlarged and in print, it was amazing. It made me want to pre-order the game, but I already did.
You gonna pre-order it again, JP?
Pre-order it again.
I was that inspired.
Again, JP. Interesting thing too is that our interview with Gamers Who Like Sports?
Geeks Who Love Sports.
Geeks Who Love Sports. See, I'm terrible at remembering. But it was Geeks Who Love Sports. That actually dropped. I haven't even had time to watch it yet, which is sad, because it dropped, yesterday?
We put it up on our YouTube channel.
Nice. Yeah, I need to watch it myself, because I can't see how crazy I was.
But I'm sorry. Let me. They dropped it on their YouTube channel. We shared it. On our YouTube channel, I had the radio interview with Sports Byline that I put up there the other day.
Both pretty soon will be up on premiumeditiongames.com for everyone to see as well, so you can find them there. But it's super cool because we did reveal exclusively there what the challenge cards are going to look like. So that was pretty cool. Because I got the demos in. So, yeah, I've been talking with that company now, too.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I'm very curious to see how the community will take to the challenge, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, obviously at this point, if you've watched the interview, you know that with all of our releases, there'll be a card that has a specific developer challenge to complete, and we send you a patch in the mail for free worldwide, because that was one of the questions if it was US only, and it's whoever buys the game and it has the card, we have a limited amount of patches, but until we run out, we'll have this challenge going. And I am really looking forward to people posting the completion of the challenge, because at least for this first one, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what people come up with in the game, and then also just sharing, holding the physical game, the card, tagging us. I think it's just going to add a new layer of fun for these releases beyond just getting a game in the mail.
Now, while I won't say numbers, when JP says limited, I can at least guarantee you that not everybody who buys a cartridge is going to be able to get a patch. Definitely not. So be sure that if you want to have the complete package of Super Blood Hockey, that you do the challenge, because It's the only way. And I'm already figuring out how I'm going to make a premium edition cut-off jean jacket. It's going to happen.
Oh, my.
See us at conventions and have premium edition jean jacket. Gotta have it.
That'd be like our uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And literally, like, I already told JP and Barry, you're not getting a daggone patch unless you do the challenge, so.
Yeah, Jeff's a taskmaster. He's kind of mean.
No, in reality, we just have standards. You have to do the challenge.
It's fair for everybody that way.
Yeah.
I guess.
JP's just used to everybody breaking rules for him, not this guy.
And giving him free stuff.
Always free stuff.
I don't know why everyone's turning on me all of a sudden.
And all this super shipping, too. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah,
There's
super
no
fast
super
JP
shipping.
special shipping. Yeah, that's true.
Thanks a lot, guys.
You're welcome.
I can't even get stuff from Japan. There's no way I have super shipping.
You can't even get what?
Stuff from Japan, from those sites.
Neither can I. Neither can anyone in the United States.
I already know, Barry, probably by next episode, JP's gonna be like, yeah, I did get my copy of Gunlord X. Somebody sent it to me for free. No.
I felt bad for you, JP, so here, we just gave you our copy.
You know, it's funny. All the games I have, and it's the three that I can't seem to get. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna miss out, even though I have it on pre-order, and it's just driving me crazy. But I'm trying to be patient and know that.
It's called the sickness, JP.
Nah, that doesn't sound right.
It totally does.
It's kind of like the opposite. It's kind of like the opposite sickness, where JP doesn't play the game of the week.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
what game did JP not play?
Well, yeah. What did you not play? What did you play this week, JP?
Okay. To be fair, so as everyone knows, we were playing Super Mario World from the SNES online thing. I don't know what it's called. But then also, we were going to try out custom worlds in Super Mario Maker 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I played one of the two.
Oh. Well, we're going to start with Super Mario World.
Good. Spoiler, that's the one I played. Can I just say, though, before you get into that, it was the first time in a long time that I went onto the Super Nintendo app, and I didn't realize how many games were added. That is a nice collection of games that they're building, and they had F-Zero, and I may have played that for like an hour straight before jumping into Super Mario World. But it was good.
I agree with you. I hadn't been in a while, and I was like, wow, Breath of Fire, 1 and 2. Like, oh my god, I could just spend like hundreds of hours right here.
Like, it's a really nice service that they have, and the games that they're adding. Yes, we all want more consoles, but for NES and SNES, it's not a bad selection at all.
And you can go online, and when you go online, you can either play with others, or they could watch you play. So, like, people were watching me play Super Mario World.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Super Mario World, to lay the wallpaper, is a 1990 platforming game developed by Nintendo for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Follows Mario's quest to save Princess Toadstool, not Peach yet, and Dinosaur Land from a series antagonist Bowser and his minions, the Kooperlings. Gameplay is similar to the earlier Super Mario games. Players control Mario and his brother Luigi through a series of levels in which the goal is to reach the flagpole at the end. This is when Yoshi was introduced. The dinosaur can eat enemies as well as gain abilities by eating the shells of Koopa Troopers. So when you eat the shells, if you eat green, he just spits it out. If you eat blue, you can fly. If you eat red, you can shoot fire. And if you eat yellow, you can stomp, which is pretty cool. And then there's these flashing shells where you can do all of the things, which is really cool. But yeah, it's a classic, one of the best Mario games of all time. A lot of people say it is the best. Some people say it's Mario 3. And then you have newer gamers now that go into the 3D games. But there's always the Mario World versus Mario 3 back in the day competition. So for me, getting through, and when I say it's a 1990 game, by the way, that's Japan. It was released in North America 13 August 1991. So it was released in 91, not in 1990 in the US. It was released in Europe in 92, so it took like a year for each region. So imagine now if a Switch game took a year to release between regions. Oh, it does still. For Japan to North America for certain games. We're still seeing it. So for me, I literally like popped it in and posted a picture online when I played and beat World 1. And then 15 minutes later, I posted when I beat the game. And that's what I did. So I literally, like, after I posted the picture, did my classic speed run where I go through the whole Star World, went right to the end, and beat Bowser. And it was classic. So that's what I played from Super Mario World, because obviously I only have a limited amount of time to play Mario World, but I literally love doing that every year, just like playing through and having fun. I did the exact same thing with Mario 3 a few weeks back, where I just used the warp whistles and went to the end and beat Bowser. Just like to see the ending of the game. Super fun. So what about you, Barry?
So, in the whole Super Mario 3 versus Super Mario World camp, I am in the Mario World camp.
Nice.
I just fell in love with this game ever since I first laid eyes on it. It was just so, so many things to do, so many levels to beat, so many different exits, like so many secrets. It was just a really complete game and satisfying, and I hadn't touched it probably since, I'm going to say maybe 96, 97.
Wow.
So going back to it was like going back to parts of my childhood,
Mm-hmm.
and I did the first couple worlds, I didn't go all the secrets. I just, went through the levels, and, so many things were rushing back to me. I didn't go through Star World to beat the game or anything like that. But it was just so much fun to relive that. And Mario Maker 1 and 2, you have the Mario World levels. They just don't compare to the classic original. And
It's weird, right? Like a expertly designed Mario is always better than anything we can try. It's weird too. It's like back in the day, I remember beating the Star World, the Super section, where everything's like tubular and rad and all that stuff, and it was like the hardest thing I ever did as a gamer.
Oh my god!
And
those
then
levels
like
are insane.
now, I go through all of them without dying once. And it's like
I probably
weird.
still can't do that.
It's weird though, but I mean with Mario Maker, like it's just so many crazy levels. I think a couple that users posted for us looked like they were insane. That to the point where JP didn't want to turn on the game.
But nah, Mario World is one of those must plays, and if you haven't played it, because there's a lot of people who might be listening that were born after 90, 91, and just didn't get a chance to play it, never had a Super Nintendo, you owe it to yourself. Like hours upon hours, like you don't even need the new games. Like that game alone is enough just to satisfy you. What about you, JP? Since you did actually play it?
Yeah, I mean, well, yes, I did play it this week. I have played it to completion back, when it first came out. But you said it best. I mean, as soon as you turn it on and you get to the first level, it really feels like you're visiting with an old friend, and no time has passed whatsoever. I mean, like, there's a good, I would say, 20 years since I've played this game, and it honestly felt like riding a bike. Like, I knew exactly where to jump, I knew when to duck, I knew what to expect, and there's just something that feels very satisfying about playing it. I mean, it's one of my favorite Mario games, and I'm sure it's a favorite of a lot of people. But I remember getting my Super Nintendo, opening it up. My grandma was watching me play it, and I remember going through a lot of the worlds or the levels, in one sitting. But yeah, this was a game that I played over at friends' houses, at sleepovers. I would jump into it every now and then. When I would buy like a Super Nintendo again, obviously I always bought Super Mario World again. But it's such a good game. I mean, it really is solid gameplay. It's a lot of fun. Seeing Yoshi like early in the game already, getting the cape. I mean, there really wasn't anything wrong that I could think of about this game. Like, it really is just the perfect fun Mario game. And now the fact that, the Super Nintendo Classic came out and it has it on there. If you own a Switch and you have the membership, you can play it whenever you want. I mean, it's so accessible to a lot of people now that, if you grew up even after it came out and you missed that whole generation, there really is no excuse why you can't be playing it right now and why you shouldn't have played it yet. But,
no excuses.
No, I mean it's true. There's no excuses, and it's right there. You just download the app and you just turn it on and start playing. But it's such a fun game, and the music is great. The gameplay is great. I love like coming back to it, and I think it's great that they had the 35th presentation, the anniversary presentation. It gets people thinking about the game again, because it really is just it's a game that ages very well.
Absolutely, like a masterpiece, and I mean, saying that there's nothing wrong with it, like it's pretty much a fact. Like perfect games Nintendo was pushing out. Like I couldn't find any issues with the game back in the day.
But what's interesting is that when you grow up, you have a specific mindset of things that you grew up with, right? You watch a movie that you just swore was the best movie ever, and then you'll watch it like as an adult, and you're like, I don't know why I like this piece of crap because it's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And even with games too, like it's funny, like sticking with Super Nintendo, I absolutely love Nickelodeon Guts, the game, and I love it because I remember playing it at a sleepover, and it was the exact same day that I played F-Zero for the first time. So to me, F-Zero and Nickelodeon Guts kind of go hand in hand with like the specific moment of my childhood. And even playing it today, I know it's a bad game, and it was a bad game back then, but Mario World is exactly how I remember it. And not a lot of things from your childhood I feel you can say are exactly how you pictured playing it. And like even today playing it, it's just exactly like how I was sitting in front of my TV back then. And I'm excited that my kids are now getting to the point where they're starting to be able to play games really well. And they've played the NES Mario, but they haven't touched Super Mario World yet. And they're going to play it for the first time. And it's going to be interesting to see as an adult how they view the game.
What's weird is like I don't really feel like a lot of the next generation, the 64 and PS1, a lot of those games really haven't held up. But like, but when we say Mario World holds up well, there's still games on the Super Nintendo that I enjoyed back in the day, and I can't play them. Like Earthworm Jim is one. I loved it, renting it and everything, and now I play it and I'm like, I just don't like it. And it was cool as a heck back in the day. It's just the way that the controls are, they're a little floaty. I don't really feel like getting used to it again. Like, whereas Mario, you pick it up, it's like it's bread and butter. It's just classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true with a lot of games where, nostalgia goggles is very real and certain things. So it's like, oh yeah, this was totally perfect, and you go back and play. I'm like, oh. Oh, this isn't as good as I used to remember it being. But yeah, this game totally holds up. There's a reason it's heralded, and it's awesome. And to think that this was a pack-in game, like this game has so much hours upon hours of content they gave you, and especially as kids, it took us even longer to defeat all these levels and get all the hidden exits because there was no internet back then. Like you really had to like talk with your friends and say, hey. I'm only 95%. How do I get the rest? What exit did I not get? Or how do you find this? It was great. And it's one of those things where the 2-player was a lot of fun. I used to play with my friends. I used to play with my brothers. Just great. Just all around great game that if you haven't played, play.
Think about something crazy, too, is that within the last few years, gamers have played these retro, like Super Nintendo, a multitude of ways, even on the classics and everything. Like, it's not quite the same as playing it on a CRT on the original systems. Now, I will say, on the Super Nintendo Online on the Switch, it is near perfect. Like, I can run through it. I don't have to stop running. I always use the gauge of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. If I can play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on whatever emulator I'm playing it on, whatever system, and it plays flawlessly, and I can still set the world record for Glass Joe on it, it's perfect. And so, like, the AVS system, the one that plays in HDMI, it's perfect. I can do the same on the Switch on the NES one. So, it's really interesting. So luckily now, with this, as long as you keep your subscription active, you get to play flawless Nintendo and Super Nintendo just like we remembered it, which is great. Because if I'm playing Earthworm Jim on, for example, what's the handheld system that has the collection on it?
Evercade.
The Evercade. The Evercade is not flawless when it comes to gameplay. It's a little bit slightly off by a fraction of a second. That fraction of a second is called the timing of all the jumps and everything. So if I played, the last time I played Earthworm Jim was on my Evercade. If I play it on the CRT or on the Switch, it might rekindle something, but now I have a negative connotation in the back of my head that says, oh, Earthworm Jim isn't as good as, like, doesn't hold up as well. Yeah. When in reality, it could have been just the poor emulation of whatever console I played it on last. So there's a lot of gamers out there that will say, oh, this game sucks, and it's like, well, how did you play it? Did you play it on a CRT? True. And that includes the PS1 and 64 era, because we played those on a CRT, even though they're 3D. So, like, I haven't played them on the originals in a long time. Maybe they do hold up a little better, but, like, a masterpiece like Mario World cannot be understated. Like, no matter how you play it, it's great.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys a question with this quickly. Mm-hmm. Did you play, like, how'd you play? Did you play handheld with Joy-Cons? Did you play, like, a Pro Controller? Or did you actually use the Super Nintendo controllers that they put out for the real authenticity?
I did just handheld with, Joy-Cons attached to the Switch, and it played perfectly for me. What about you, Jeff?
I played in handheld mode, which is with the Daemon X Machina Joy-Cons. Yeah, that's what I use as my default, and...
I did it docked, but I used the Super Nintendo controllers, and it really brought me back. Like, that's the way to play that game.
And speaking of, if you haven't yet, I believe they're still available, again, on the Nintendo Store, the NES and the Super NES Joy-Cons.
Nice. I did find my old 8-bit-do NES one, so I'm going to zip. I have it in a zipper case. But it's the one that looks like an NES. It's the 8-bit-do NES 30 Pro, which they don't make anymore, but it has the original Nintendo front, but it is compatible with the Switch via Bluetooth.
Nice.
So I was messing a little bit with that when I was playing some games that I can't talk about on the Playcast. When I was playing some games over the weekend, I was using this, which I was using in my Switch Collector Volume 1 Nintendo Switch Arcade. Name drop. But
so let me ask you both a question. It probably will never happen on the Switch, because I have a feeling they're not going to do the Super Mario All-Star Collection that we've seen in the past that have 1, 2, 3 and World. But you think we'd ever see World physically again?
Just World
in
by
a
itself?
Collection, maybe.
No, okay, here's my other question. Do you think they'd ever go the way of Link's Awakening?
No.
Okay.
I don't. You know why? Because Link's Awakening, as always, a phenomenal game. It was a Game Boy game, Game Boy Color afterwards. It really benefited from that remake. There were a lot of limitations on the Game Boy with the 2 buttons, and you had to constantly swap things out. So Super Mario World didn't have any of those hindrances. The Super Nintendo had plenty of buttons. Everything was utilized. And it still looks great today. Not saying the Game Boy looks bad, but you can put it on and people will just be like, all right, this looks fantastic. This looks beautiful. And it's just one of those things where I think if they were going to put that time and effort, I would rather them remake a game that really needs it or an often forgotten about game versus Super Mario World.
So here's my other question. Because I know I brought this up on the Playcast once in terms of like a what-if kind of game that we'd want to see with Mario, and it just playing this one just makes me think, you ever think we'll get one where he has to travel to all his different games, like in the sense of like the different worlds?
Yeah, Mario Odyssey. No,
like a Sonic
Mario Odyssey, he did it. No.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did it in the sense of like he jumped into the wall and it would go 8-bit, but he didn't really literally go through his entire history almost, like kind of make everything canon, and something happened in the time stream or whatever, and he jumps into Super Mario Land even, or Super Mario World, and we kind of get to revisit this, because I don't know, I feel like it wouldn't be such a bad idea to somehow get back to Dinosaur Land and
JP, are you trying to segue us into Super Mario Maker that you didn't play?
What? Me, that actually would be completely coincidental, but I'll take it.
Honestly,
because with the newest update, they literally they've had the ball from Super Mario Land, which you can do Super Mario Land levels essentially, and they have Mario 2. So like, so 1, 2, 3, World, Land, New Super Mario, Super Mario 3D World. You get all of the things in Super Mario Maker 2.
A question for you before we dive into 2. You can create worlds now, right? So like lots of levels together. Can you add like text to make like even like a text like pop-up story or anything, or is it just purely levels?
Just levels, I believe.
See, that would be cool, because if you think about it, how simple was the story for Super Mario World? A little pop-up screen that, Princess has been kidnapped again, or like you jump on the block and Yoshi comes out and his whole backstory is like, I'm searching and I got trapped in here. I'm looking for eggs. Like, that's literally his entire backstory. How cool would that be if you could do that in Mario Maker 2?
Yeah, and then everybody would post obscenities.
Well, I mean, maybe they have a way to block it. I don't know. But I think that'd be cool to start making like actual like story modes.
I mean, you could literally call the you can do that, JP. It's called you name the courses whatever you want.
Don't worry, JP. Nintendo will do that in about another 15 years. It took this long just for them to do the worlds. Give them time. Baby steps here. You're asking too much.
Also, oh man, I have so many thoughts now. But let's go into Mario Maker 2.
So many thoughts for the game he didn't even bother playing.
No, it's just starting to make me think of like different crossovers and stuff. Because I don't think we've ever had a Mario and Link like crossover game.
Man,
like,
if you only played Super Mario Maker 2, JP, there's actually a link.
I know you
that
can
you
get Link.
Like JP's thinking of stuff that already exists.
No, but I mean, like, how cool would it be to cross over the two worlds even?
I mean, have you played Link's Awakening? They do Mario in there too. There's Goombas in there. There's
but
jumps.
I mean, you're actually playing as the main characters.
Have you ever played Super Mario Brothers crossover on the PC?
See, no, I haven't.
Well, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam had the Mario and Luigi and the Paper Mario series crossover.
Yes, they did.
Gross.
But I think it's time that we actually get like a real... All right. Anyway, Super Mario Maker 2. Tell us about it.
So there's Link in there, and you can play as Link, JP. Boom.
Oh, all right, cool.
There is literally a way for a power-up that you can play as Link in it, and there's a lot of enemies that have little pop-ups that show old Zelda enemies. But anyway, so the Mario Maker 2, what we're talking about is we were both all supposed to try, even for a minute, and JP couldn't do it, World Maker mode for building entire games. Now, JP posted the opposite of what we asked him to, which he posted, what levels do you have? We don't care about the levels because the levels are trolling typically, and they're super hard. And the first thing that somebody posted in the community was, hey, here's this crazy Kaizo Mario level that we created that nobody can beat. I watched the video, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not even going to try to do that because it's insane. Why we wanted to try Mario World Maker is when they initially announced it, I played it, and people are literally balancing out the levels now where you can play full worlds. You can create up to a 40-level Mario game, up to 8 worlds in the game. So you can have 5 levels and 8 worlds with having bosses and castles and everything. And people are literally creating amazingness. The update that was with this one specifically, but there's a lot of updates, JP, with a lot of stuff you probably missed out on. But they added the frog suit from Mario 3, a power balloon from Mario World, but it also allows you to like fly really faster on the levels. It's not just the really slow float like Mario World, but it's like a little like jet comes out of his butt and he can fly all around real fast. There's a mushroom that turns characters into their Mario 2 sprites, so then you can throw items around.
Nice.
And there's a Goomba mask where you can literally be like a Goomba and run around. But previous updates, there's one that you could play as Link from Legend of Zelda. But the interesting piece is that like so you can create your own world maps. All the world maps are like Super Mario World, which is pretty cool. But you can still create levels from any game. So the world that I played, it ended up being really cool because it was just like somebody recreated all the Mario 3D World levels, but in 2D in Mario Maker 2. So like when I was playing it, and they weren't in order, but it was like, hey, this is Super Mario 3D World level 2, 3. And then I would play through it. It was super balanced. There's power-ups for fun and everything. And it was really cool. They were pretty long still, but like somebody took the time to recreate all of those levels, and it was really awesome. I played through 3 worlds in it, and it was really fun. Some of the boss battles were crazy, though, because I've seen some unique stuff nowadays with Mario Maker 2, where like there's ways you can create like weird ghost style boss fights where things appear and you gotta fight them and fight them again, and like there's different routines, and people have learned how to hack and manipulate this game to make unique stuff. It's really cool. So Barry, how did you
Where to begin? So last episode you were like, oh, we're gonna do this and it's so cool and great, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun, he said.
Are we getting Wet Blanket Barry?
What?
Are we getting Teletubby Cloud Wet Blanket Barry today?
So I booted this up, and the first world I picked, I was like, oh, let's go, and it was just insane level, like right away. I'm like, wow, talk about ramping up the difficulty. So I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. Like, I'm moving on. I'm gonna go to another world. So then I went to one where it was like, well, there's no levels to this. It's just a castle. Okay, I'm gonna go to the castle, and there's this really creative world. Like, you could tell this guy made like a lot of attention to this level with, like, he built like the Mario sprites out of blocks and stuff. You climb over Mario, and at the end he says thank you, and I beat the level, and it was really, really interesting and kind of fun. And then it was like, you saved the princess, that's the end. I was like, wait, your whole world was one level? Like, that was it?
So Barry, when you go to the world course, it tells you how many levels there are before you select it. And if you remember on the episode, I said to pay attention to how many levels there are, but I also said pay attention and play the worlds that have a lot of plays on them. Because if you play one that has one world and 2 plays, it's probably going to be pretty garbage. But if you go to one that's been played by thousands...
The first one that I went to was played by 3,000 people, and it was terrible. And like, when I died, I just saw X's like all across the board. I was like, oh, okay, so this is terrible. So this one, I didn't know what all those numbers meant. So when I beat that one, I looked back and I was like, oh, that's what those numbers mean. That means one world, one level. Mm-hmm. So then I went to another one, and it was nothing. Like, I beat the first level, and I think I beat like the first 5, and then I finally quit because it was all trolls. It was all troll levels with nothing but bosses. And the one I finally gave up on is you started off, and they all required hidden blocks. Like, every one had like a hidden P block at the start, or a hidden mushroom at the start. I'm like, I'm noticing your pattern here. Like, you can't beat these levels without knowing that this hidden block is there. But then I went to this other one, and it was like I was kicking ass. I was going through the whole thing, and I hit that the halfway marker. But to get to the halfway marker, I had to pass 4 of the Koopa kids. And then on the other side was the remaining Koopa kids with Bowser Jr. and Bowser. So they killed me. So now every time I start up, I'm right in the middle of all these bosses at once as small Mario. It's like, this is impossible. They literally it's entrapment. I'm like, this is garbage. I'm done with this. This is terrible. Like, none of these levels I've played are really like stellar levels. Like, one was kind of creative. Everything else was trolly or super kaiju type levels. And I'm like, this didn't add anything to my gaming experience. I'm done.
Crazy. So you're literally the most unlucky person ever. Picking terrible ones. Like, I picked an amazing one first time, where it was recreation of classic levels.
I had one where literally, like, it was part of this ridiculous guy's world, where it was one screen and there was these two blocks that you could tell something was there, but there was a hole. You had to find a hidden P block, which when you did it turned both of those into doors. Okay, no direction of which one it takes. So I took the left door because it was the first one I came to. Well, both doors take you to the end of the level already. The right door takes you right on top of the flagpole. The left door, the one I chose, took you to the left of the flagpole with not 1, not 2, but 3 Bowsers, giant, stacked on top of each other, creating a wall that I now had to
You
fight
chose
off. Gave me...
poorly.
Seriously, I'm like, what the heck? This is ridiculous.
That's funny. Classic Barry.
I had terrible luck with it. See what you missed out on, JP?
Yeah, seriously. Although I probably would have been in Barry's boat and picked like this horrible level, or maybe one that I created. Who knows?
What you created.
Barry didn't follow my recommendations last episode.
No. I told you I chose the one with like 3,000 likes, which was the highest of the ones given to me.
You picked one with one level.
Well, I did that afterwards because I was pissed off at the one that was like a kaiju level with 3,000 plays. I was like, all right, this is clear. Like the first level, like at least start me off easy before you jump into the kaiju levels.
Nope. And it's Kaizo, not Kaiju. Kaiju would be Godzilla. Godzilla levels!
I did have Kaiju levels. I told you I had 3 giant Bowsers stacked on top of each other. That's fucking Kaiju levels right there. You know, it's just a
language, Barry. This is a kid's show. We have Joshy listening.
That's right. My kids may listen to this show.
Well, then they learned a new...
Potty mouth.
School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, see, Mario Maker, real hardcore.
Brings out the reality of Barry. So, so it was fun for me, not fun for Wet Blanket Barry.
I had a great time. Nobody asked, but
JP had a great time watching nothing.
But you know what though? I did ask on social media though about our game of the weeks. Games of the week, actually. And I didn't do a poll because normally, I would say if you played this game, but I would be very surprised to see more people saying no than yes to Super Mario World. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I just asked about their experience with the game. And we got a lot of good responses. No, we got a lot of good responses. And of course, my screen decides to... reset itself, so I'm just going to scroll really quick as you hear that so I can get to the post, and that way we can read. Here we go, guys. So I said, have you played Super Mario World before? Share some memories below and we'll read them on the show. And away we go. So Flyer Fishy 58 said, First game I remember playing was spend hours playing with my grandmother. Had fun just flying and dive bombing with the cape. It's where I'm sure my love of video games started. Also why it's my favorite Mario game and console still. Shampoo said, the day that someone asks whether people have played Super Mario World before is the day I realized I'm getting too old for this poop. 1939 Batman. I'm still not sure how I got past this game pre-internet. The Forest of Illusion and Chocolate Island 2, I think it was that one, where you have 3 different goals before you get out. Yeah. Getting past Star Road was a pain, but worth it.
Yeah, I remember Chocolate Island just getting lost, even nowadays. Because I always use the Star Road now. Like, I have that memorized. That's too easy. If I try to go through Forest of Illusion I can get through Forest of Illusion usually. But yeah, once I get over to Coco World, it's like, oh my gosh. I keep on circling. I'm like, what's going on?
Yep. Link Rocks 1988 said, I did when I was like 8 or 9. It's been a long time since I played it. Newton Nation said, I'll leave others to share their experience with this one. I could do a whole thread on it, LOL. So I said, you should, or at least consolidate it. But we didn't hear back, so maybe he'll still post.
That was then we had saying, I don't want to write things.
BX Champ said, first game I ever owned, my favorite Mario game ever. I'll never forget my dad coming home, and in his hands he had the SNES box, which came with the game. I was 4, and I'll never forget it. That's awesome. Nice. Claydo2 said, I played it many times. I even used a Club Nintendo Latin American magazine as a guide for the secrets at that time. 10.11 said, Super Mario World, never heard of it. What type of game is this? And I said, how should I know? I just write the tweets.
It is a Souls-like Metrovania with RPG elements.
There you go. And then 72107 said, although I played Super Mario Brothers 1 to 3, it was always after my brothers had beat them and helped me. Super Mario World was the first Mario game I played by myself, and although I struggled and still haven't beat it to this day, it'll always feel like my Mario. I made my first friend in primary school through this game, and when my family was struggling financially and my dad had to move for a while to support My mom and I, it was the only game I had left after we sold the others to get him a bus ticket. Even now, when I hear the ground theme, I'm transported back to being a scared preteen, overachieving at school, and eventually losing their one friend in the world because they didn't want to disappoint the parents who sacrificed everything for them. 16-bit Mario was my only piece of joy for a good chunk of my childhood, and without him, I would have grown out of video games like the rest of my peers. He'll always symbolize unbridled hope in the face of adversity.
Wow,
that got
awesome.
dark.
Good story.
First-
That's not a dark
first off,
story. I
that's
think
for-
that's cool.
Congrats on doing
Yeah,
it,
thank you
know.
for sharing. And I will say, so that was on the JP Switchmania thread. We did get just a few more comments on the Premium Edition channel, so I'm going to just scroll to that really quick.
How
'cause I
did
wanna
how
make
did
sure we
you
cap-
write that without saying Super Blood Hockey 1,000 times, JP?
So we played Super Blood Hockey World. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so here we go. Roberto Makoto 36. Hello, Roberto. My parents got my sister an SNES for her birthday. I will never forget us sitting together and watching Yoshi hatch out of an egg for the first time. That was the most amazing thing either one of us had seen in our little lives, and that's saying something after playing Super Mario Bros. 3. Cactus Core said, "This game is far and away my favorite 2D Mario game. None of the others ever really connected with me the same way. The nonlinear paths and secret exits made it so much better than it already was too." And then Barry said really was ahead of its time. I agree. Bunker Neath said, "After thinking I had completed it when it came out, to when playing it 2 years ago on my new 3DS and finding the final exit of the last ghost house and getting a 97 was crazy and amazing."
Nice.
Grissy Men said, "One of my favorite Mario games. My favorite memories were discovering the secret area, Star World, and all the Yoshis." And the last comment is from One Up Rose Cosplay. "Played it for the first time on the GBA back in high school. Spent all of winter break clearing every secret level." So thank you to everyone that shared their stories. As you can see, it really does hold and make a lot of memories, especially from our childhood to even today. And I think that's not something you can say for a lot of games out there.
You know what one of the coolest things about this is like if you knew it back in the day or even nowadays, is that so we got Super Mario World on the Switch Online.
Yep.
Barry mentioned, the version, or was it JP that mentioned the version with Mario World on the All-Stars pack?
Yep.
That was actually the version I got with my console back in the day, my Super Nintendo console. That game actually has a different sprite for Luigi. So it's actually a different game than the original Super Mario World because it's literally a mirror of Mario with green. Whereas Super Mario World in the All-Stars pack has a different sprite for Luigi.
I never
that
knew
is
that.
cool.
Yeah, so it's that is the version. So anytime you play that version of the game, if it's on any online piece, when it's with All-Stars, it's actually a different sprite. He still controls the same, but it's really cool that he's a little bit, you got that skinny Luigi sprite.
Interesting how they never chose to report that version of the game. Unless, I don't know if the GBA version was based on that or not. I never checked.
Interesting. I don't think it was. Pretty sure that was the mirrored one. I could be wrong. Definitely haven't written about the GBA version yet. I actually never owned the GBA version either, so I just remember having with GBA one with the cards from Mario 3, you could get the cape from Mario World in 3, which was
the e-reader?
Yeah.
Nice. Another fun accessory that didn't pan out.
We're about to have a new one, JP. It's called Mario Kart Live. After
you know what? We didn't talk too much about it. We explained what it was, but I don't know if we even got our thoughts on it. So
I think we did. We talked about it a lot, and we all said we all have carpet, and we're not gonna be able to utilize it. I said I would drive it into a pool. We talked about it for a while. I think JP was sleeping last week.
You know what? We talk about so many things. It's hard to keep up. Do you think it's something that's going to pick up, though?
No.
Okay.
I think it's
Moving
going to be...
on.
I honestly, I think it's going to be super niche. I think it's going to be something... Because it's pretty expensive, too, and you don't get... it's like we mentioned last week, you're not getting 2 carts with it. You can't play versus each other. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be that cool of a thing. I think certain... kids are gonna love it, but it's again too expensive for kids to get it. So completionist collectors are gonna get it, but those completionist collectors that want a cart and a case
Right.
won't. So like it's weird. It's a weird Nintendo thing. It's the most Nintendo thing Nintendo could do, right?
Yep. That's a good way to put it.
So should we transition into what we got in this week?
Yes, please.
Oh my! I got a game in.
Yes.
I got
Let's
a
go
game
for it, Jeff.
in.
Still my heart.
Oh my goodness, it's weird. But ironically, Thunder's gone because you guys already got it in. I got in the shmup collection from VGNY Soft. Yeah,
nice.
so about time I got it. I pre-ordered it like you guys, but I don't have the special JP shipping or Barry shipping.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently Barry gets Barry shipping too.
I don't have special shipping. What it might be is because of our proximity to New York, maybe.
Yeah,
No,
that's true.
man. Yeah, they literally hand deliver it to you guys.
And fun fact, I'll be doing a giveaway with them for that game coming up very soon.
Not surprised. JP
Not
always
surprised.
does those things.
JP do a giveaway? What?
No way, he would never do that. It's interesting though, is the 3 games on there, which is ARM7DX, Seta Zeus Next, and Wolfflame. I've not played any of them, nor have I heard of them. Usually, when there's a shoot 'em up collection, like I've played like the games. I remember the one on the Wii that was a classic. Like I played those, like Chaos Field and stuff. Like I played all those. But like this one, I've not played them, so this will be a really fun thing. It's cool that we're getting a collection. It's great that they called it shmup because there's so many classic shoot 'em up collectors that hate that term. So that's pretty funny to me.
I love that. I love the comments on it. They're like, "Oh my god, what kind of name is that for a game?" And I'm like, "That's perfect. It's exactly what it is."
Yeah. The other game that I got in was the Tower of Turmoil for the NES that I'm making because I got all the items in. So those of you that pre-ordered a copy of for the summer sale, like I'm literally hand creating them all. I have all of them assembled now, so I'm gonna start shipping those out over the weekend. I'm gonna package them up. I'm also gonna reach out to all the backers from Switch Collector, as well as Black Box Challenge, and I'm gonna see if they want to get their items early, because I just got back with the wooden box guy, and he's still working on the Switch Collector boxes, but they're almost done. But it is going to take me, there's a lot of ink I need to do. They're going to take me a long time to do these wooden book covers for the Switch Collector. So I want to give people the option to get their, with no extra charge, to get their stuff early. Because, yeah, they've been waiting a while and everybody else is getting their books. The books are almost sold out. And it's like, you guys haven't gotten your books yet. And it's been like a year. That's ridiculous. Like, do you want them now? Like, I will ship them. Because it was always the understanding that I would ship everything together. But we didn't anticipate COVID nor the actual wooden covers taking so long. And I got a picture from the guy making the wooden book covers, and literally it's a laser drawing the back cover. Like I was like, he's making them. They take forever, by the way. They take a long time to do each one. So really cool to see the updates. I will be working on that, but I am going to be sending out some emails to people this weekend just to see, because again, I don't like having things sitting out in the ether, especially those that are getting the really cool items. And it's gonna be the same thing with Premium Edition when we have all this stuff. Like, we're gonna make sure we get you your games. If you actually buy games from us, you will be the first ones getting them. We're not gonna be like shipping them out to other people in a different country, like certain companies, and then getting you the second print run or something. That's ridiculous. We're not doing that. Good Lord, no. So who's next that got in some games? I'm gonna disappear for a second while you go. By the way, just FYI, I'll be here in spirit for a minute.
All right.
Well, Jeff disappears. So I had a lighter week. I had Minecraft Dungeons, the Hero Edition came out. My copy of Mad Games Tycoon finally arrived from Europe. That took a little while. Inertial Drift from Video Games Plus, the European version, since the American version was canceled.
Yours came in?
Mine came in, yeah, with the PS4 version.
Look at that. We don't have JP super shipping. Mine, I think, is coming in tomorrow.
Oh, well, I got it in yesterday, so it's...
Oh, my God.
Oh my God, I know. See, you get so upset when
Come on.
something comes in to me that much earlier than you, but because it happens so rarely. So
Uh-huh.
for me, you getting something in before me, it's like that's normal. That's you with your super shipping. Though the few times it happens where I get it before you get really upset for some reason. My super
Days.
shipping isn't working.
I feel like it was supposed to come today, and then of course it shows it's in Newark, which means it's gonna probably arrive tomorrow. But what did you do their free shipping or standard?
You know what? Honestly, I don't remember
Mm-hmm.
because when I got the shipment confirmation that it was shipped, I had forgotten I even pre-ordered it. It was that long ago. It was like when it first came out, I got that in the PS4 version because it was the US at the time.
That,
Um, so yeah,
that is fair because I only pre-ordered it last.
so yeah, I did it right away, so that could be it. So I don't know. You know we got to talk to them, right? And say, hey, how do you do this? Do you first come first serve in terms of shipping?
Do you not know who I am and why I need this game right away so I can take a picture of it and put it on my shelf?
Absolutely. I also got in my limited edition of Murder by Numbers from PlayAsia that finally showed up, and I wasn't originally going to get it, but then I noticed it was disappeared on like Best Buy, so I said screw it and just got it on Amazon because the slipcovers and all that. I got the NBA 2K1, the Mamba Forever edition,
Nice.
which I didn't really want to spend $100 on a sports game, but
Yep.
I figure that's good. Like the other edition. I'm sure I'll get down the road, cheaper.
That's exactly what I do. When they have like these double versions now, I get the deluxe one, thinking it's probably gonna sell out faster. And then honestly, like Black Friday, it goes to like $15-20 for the regular, and that's when I pick up a 2K game.
Yeah, and at least this way, even if I never get it, at least I do have all the games still because
Right.
it still counts as having NBA 2K21. So I did get that with the slipcover from Amazon. That was like shipped the next day it arrived. I was very shocked. I was like, wow, way to go, Amazon. But
You guys
yeah,
are talking
that
about
was
buying games the way I do.
yeah. The only other thing I did get in regarding the Switch was I got one of the card packs for Chroma Squad. I had that ordered separately because I missed the 3-pack, so that just randomly showed up today. So yeah, that was what I got. JP, what about you? Give us the horde. Oh, and quickly, Jeff, you missed it. I got a game in before JP, and he was mad.
No,
you missed him getting mad.
I
2
didn't.
days before me.
JP would never get mad. He would never get mad. What was the game he got jealous on?
Inertial Drift.
What is it?
It's Inertial Drift. It was from Video Games Plus.
So JP has it now because he went to your house and
No,
already
mine's
smashed it.
coming in. Oh yeah, mine's coming in tomorrow, hopefully. All right, so here we go. This one came out a while ago, but for some reason, it's a variant in my mind. So I got the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection International Edition from Japan, where instead of Alpha, it's called Zero on the cover, and it comes with a all about Street Fighter art book, guidebook packaged together. So I thought it was cool, and PlayAsia had in stock, and I was like, it's finally time to just pick this one up. Then the Street Power Football, which is the same that we got in the US as Street Power Soccer. I got the UK cover of that one, so now I have both. From Strictly Limited Games, the Action Squad came in, or Door Kickers Action Squad finally arrived. Then also later in the week, NBA 2K21 Mamba Forever Edition. And then my first PS4 game since Final Fantasy VII Remake, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. And that's what I want to say before, is that's another game on the PS1 that to me holds up through time. The original one on the PS1 is still a fantastic game, no matter when you play it. So back to the Switch, Minecraft Dungeons Hero Edition. I got 2 of them in because I forgot I pre-ordered it, and then I ended up doing it twice. Tin and Kuno from Axis Games came in.
Hey JP.
And
see, that one shipped for me, but that didn't get here. Hold on, let me go get the pitchfork.
No, but I was gonna say, JP, one back. If you're getting rid of a second Minecraft Dungeons, my daughter would probably like a copy.
Yeah, I don't need the second one, so it's yours.
Cool, yeah, because
And
I didn't buy it yet because I have it digitally, but
yeah,
she would like it.
I'll mail it to you.
Oh boy.
All right. So the interesting thing with Tin and Kuno from Axis is that initially I didn't even know this was arriving yet, and then I'm on their press list and it says coming out on September 10th, and I'm thinking, I didn't see it on any websites really, and I looked on Amazon and it was still showing I think like either a September 30th or a December date. So I was like, well, they're not getting it. And GameStop was the only other website that showed September 10th. So I said, okay, I guess it's legit. I ended up just ordering it directly from Axis because if they're advertising it's coming out, they'll have it. So sure enough, they shipped it. But then today or late last night, Best Buy just put it up with an availability. So yeah. I don't know what happened there, but it did come out for those of you who are wondering.
Yeah, I got mine through Best Buy and it shipped, but it won't be here till next week.
Okay. Then
you guys should trade games that you have that you don't have.
I do. I'm starting to grow this little pile of duplicates that I'm somehow getting one way or another.
Oh man, I have a whole huge thanks to Double Dips thanks to you.
You guys might want to take pictures of stuff and send them to me because there's probably games I don't have.
All right.
I haven't picked up. I may not want all of them, but there might be a couple.
That's true. So then my House Flipper US edition came in. My Gear Club 2 Unlimited Tracks edition came in. And then the Captain Tsubasa Deluxe edition, which is a UK exclusive with a yellow cover and like DLC codes came in. So I had to pick that up. Also from Asia, the Coma Double Cut, which has Coma 1 and 2, arrived. Then scrolling a little bit more. We got, and then today, my Old School Gamer magazine came in with a really awesome back cover. And for the Switch, Immortal Realms Vampire Wars arrived. And to round it all off, my Pokemon the Series Sun and Moon Ultra Legends Episode 1 through 18 and Ranma Half Collection 2 of anime Blu-rays and DVDs came in. So that's what I got so far. But there's still tomorrow.
It was funny that London was talking about JP must be really rich to have all these games. And then she goes, oh, wait, no, he spends all his money on the games, so he's not rich at all. That's what she said.
No. Shannon just turned around. Oh, Shannon just said smart girl.
It was funny as she like said it and then she backtracked. It's like the mind of an 8-year-old. I love it.
No, she's not wrong. And, going through the pictures, it reminded me there's one more piece of news that we forgot to talk about. That for collectors I think would be really interesting, and that's in the UK or Europe, I should say. A new upcoming Switch console collector edition is coming out of Fortnite, and it actually has a custom dock, custom Joy-Cons, and a custom backing of the console.
And a physical cartridge of the game that doesn't know.
yeah. How ironic, right? We don't have a cart for that game, but we will have a console, and it actually looks really cool with the design. Thankfully, I am out of the full set console collecting, but we don't know if it's coming in the US as of now. But I have seen it, I think, start to pop up on like Amazon Germany, and I'm sure other sites will be carrying it. So if you collect consoles, it's the newest one that's going to be arriving soon. So should we talk about what's coming out next week?
No.
Sure.
Yeah, and I actually pre-ordered something today too.
Good. Mm-hmm. What'd you pre-order?
I pre-ordered Shantae on the Switch. Both the original and Risky's Revenge. So
nice.
That's a good segue for you to start with.
Yeah, so before we even jump into, this Sunday, there was a game that shadow dropped for pre-order today from Pixel Hearts, and that's not Golden Sun, which everybody thought when they saw my post. I mean, that was the number one comment I saw was, I saw Golden, I thought Sun, and then my heart just sank, and I said sorry. But it's Golden Force from Pixel. And it's up for pre-order right now. There's 3 editions through their website. There's a standard, a limited, and I'll call it a deluxe or an ultimate, but there's a specific name for it. I just don't recall off the top of my head. And actually, the Mercenary, thank you. It actually comes in a wooden box, Jeff.
Really?
Yeah,
Those copycat jerks. No, we're actually not doing any wooden boxes, at least yet, for any versions. Like, I was thinking, like, in the future we could do custom ones that we could, like, fit our games in and stuff for our own personal displays. We could make them available on the site for people if they want them, like, made on demand. But, like,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't know. Like, it takes a really long time to get our wooden stuff in. It looks amazing, but it takes a long time.
Yeah,
So,
I hear you.
But I do like wooden boxes, so now I gotta look it up.
So a few things about this is that the standard edition is going to be like an open pre-order, no limited quantities. The limited edition, which is about 10 euros more, comes with a future pack. So not a steelbook, but a future pack. On the cover, it says limited edition. And I believe, looking at this, it also comes with a magnet coin. So those are the three items that you get.
Does it come with the standard case as well, or just
So
the...
let me tell you, I did ask that question.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you. From what they told me, all three
you.
versions will have a different cover.
Oh,
Not
great.
and when you hear the price of the third one, you'll realize why I'm not super excited about that. But this one is limited to 2,000 copies. They're going to have 1,000 on the Pixel Heart store, and then the rest should be available through Just 4 Games, who's their partner. So that's the limited. But then you have the Mercenary edition.
I'm looking at the Mercenary edition with the wooden box that you mentioned.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a really cool etching into the wooden box. Like it has like a gold gilding on the corners. It's all a digital mock-up, so I'm sure it'll look a little different.
I mean, it looks cool. It's 90. Yeah, it's 99.90 euros, so it's over $100 for the US. It's limited to 1,000 copies, only available on their website, and it comes with the future pack, the magnet coin that I believe comes with the limited. It comes with the game, which they told me is a different cover, even though the picture looks like the standard cover. It comes with a soundtrack artwork, a large T-shirt, coasters, a character keyring, and then obviously the wooden box.
And, and Barry, the limited edition just has a gold limited edition over it. So
well, we don't know if that's the final. It says promotion or provincial.
Provincial art. Don't do it. Prevent it.
No, what's
Freudian
the
slip.
Word?
Freudian slip.
Cover.
Provisional.
Provisional. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. So it's not a final cover yet. But sorry.
Now, what I want to know is Video Games New York going to get this? Is this going to be a VGNY, or is this exclusive Pixel Heart?
It does look. The game does look really cool though, because like it looks like an action game.
It looks cool. There's a trailer up on Pixel Heart's YouTube channel. There is a trailer. The game looks pretty cool. So right now they're showing a release date for last quarter of this year. So we may still be getting it, this time. But it looks like I'm going to be pre-ordering all three of them. But that was a shadow drop that just got announced at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
I also noticed, which I never saw before. I don't know when they announced it, but they have Neo Geo AES games for $400 for pre-order, €400 for pre-order. They have Breaker's Revenge and Andro Dunos, but like those are just re-releases.
Yeah, they're
originals.
Expensive games. They have a lot. Like if you go to their shop, they've got Dreamcast, Mega Drive, Genesis, Super Nintendo, NES.
But no, the Neo Geo AES ones, usually I see that because I'm part of groups, and nobody has talked about it. Probably because they're just re-releases. But that's interesting.
Yeah, so let's jump into what we can expect this week, and if you should be hiding your wallet now or not. This is all
spoilers. Yes, hide your wallet.
Yes. So this is all up on jpswitchmania.com. I actually got next week's releases out early today, so if you go on the website, you'll see it as the first post.
Hey Barry, he may have posted it while we were recording.
No, he actually posted it earlier. I know because
I
got an email notification.
Woohoo!
I saw a share during our recording.
So here we go. On Sunday, September 13th, you have your last chance to pre-order Samurai Jack Battle Through Time from Limited Run. So if you haven't, don't forget to. Pre-orders close at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Then on Tuesday, September 15th, it's your last chance to pre-order Among the Sleep with a variant cover that's being distributed from Limited Run. So the retail edition is out with a different cover in stores, but if you want a variant cover, it's through their site. Then in Europe, Crosscode, the retail version, is coming out. There is a European strictly limited version, which is either an alternate cover of the game with a steelbook or a collector's edition. That won't be shipping until October, November from them. But the retail in Europe is coming out. And then today, just a little while ago, Amazon US finally put up the product page for the US version, showing an October release date for us in the US. So we are getting the regular one finally, and it's good to see that it's actually confirmed now. Then also on Tuesday, Idea Factory is going to be restocking Mary Skelter 2. You can pre-order it as of 2 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday, and they're expecting to ship it out September 21st, they said. There's going to be limited quantities. It's just a reprint, so if you got if you initially got it from limited run, it's the same of everything. But they did say that their website, so Idea Factory's website, will have it and up, which is $49.99, but also limited run will carry some as well. Then we are getting No Straight Roads. It's getting released. There's a regular and a collector's edition. The collector's edition seems to be sold out everywhere, but what's really cool about this one is it comes with a 64-page art book, full-size drumstick set, double-sided 12-inch LP, the game, and a cool collector's box. So if you want that and you can find it, pre-order it before you can't. Then in Europe, Samurai Showdown Neo Geo Collection retail version is coming out, and that's the one that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 special, and for the first time, 5 perfect. There is a Pix and Love collector's edition that is not out yet, but they sent out an email today saying that they were delayed by like a week or so, so there should actually still be shipping out in September, and that is the one that comes with the Neo Geo case. It comes with a 104-page art book. It was limited numbered for 1,800 copies, so each box is numbered. You get 2 exclusive CDs and 7 lithographs, and that's with the Pix and Love Publishing collector edition. Moving over to Thursday, September 17th, in Japan, the game Atomic Crops is coming out. It does support English. You can pre-order from Amazon Japan or Play Asia. It's going to run you $25 to $30 only, so it's not too bad of a price. Then for sale at Super Rare Games, they're going to be opening up on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Freedom Finger. It's limited to 4,000 copies, so, and it actually looks really cool. It has a lot of high celebrity voice actors in the game. It looks really funny, so definitely check that out. At East Asia Soft, it's finally releasing Moero Crystal H, so they're going to be shipping that out. The regular edition is still up for pre-order at Play Asia for $40, but the limited edition is sold out. So if you didn't get it, you may have missed out. And that one came with a collector box, CD, sticker set, art book, all that good stuff. Here's one that I put up on my release, but it technically may not support English, and that's Ruiner, the Japan edition. Because even though the Japan eShop says English, Special Reserve had commented in their Discord or on Twitter that I guess they worked out some kind of arrangement where the Japan physical would not have English. I left it up there because it comes with an embroidery patch, a sticker sheet, art cards, or a reversible cover. And in that small off chance that it does have English, like it says on the eShop, I'm still going to pick it up. So once I get it in, we'll know for sure. Then in the UK, Truck Driver comes out. But Barry, good news, we're getting that in the US on October 16th. Awesome. So you don't have to get that one. Then here's one where it may or may not come out because it's Badlands, and we know they have a history of not releasing their games. But Beholder Collector's Edition is showing up on some retailer websites for Friday, September 18th. So I left it up there for now. And, on the 18th, we'll actually see if they're shipping or not. And then I'll adjust that as needed. Also on Friday, it's going to be your last chance to pre-order Ruiner from Special Reserve Games. Their pre-orders close at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and it comes with a 102-page art book, 40-page instruction booklet, their Special Reserve box, a reversible jacket. Each case is individually numbered, and it's only $40. So if you haven't pre-ordered it yet, don't miss out. Then there is another game coming out on Friday. It's a small one. I actually don't think many people heard about this one, but it's Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Apparently it has these old Mario games on it that I guess are obscure. I don't know. But that one is coming out. And if you like pre-order bonuses, this is the game for it. Because even though Amazon and Best Buy do not have pre-order bonuses, GameStop has an exclusive controller skins that they're giving out. Target has exclusive magnet sets. But Walmart is the interesting one because they actually have a different product page on their website for this one, and I can't tell if the stickers are inside the case or not. What was funny is as soon as I learned about this one, because I actually didn't know about this one until today, it was sold out on their website. So I went to eBay and people were selling it or selling their pre-orders for like $100 and more. And I'm thinking like, oh, this can't be good. And then on their on Walmart's website, I clicked, notify me when back in stock, and I kid you not, an hour later it was like, oh, it's back in stock, and it was up, and I pre-ordered it from Walmart. So it should still be up there right now, and we'll know on Friday if it comes inside the case or if not. I actually am inclined to think it does come inside the case because Walmart has done that before with RBI Baseball, and they've had some other exclusives. So if that's the case, I mean, it's technically a variant for me because it has something inside the case that the other retailers don't have. But we're going to find out for sure.
JP's going to start going off of variants inside games now.
I do count those because sometimes there's a sticker on the plastic that says, exclusive stickers or something like that. And anything involving the case and what's inside of it, to me, counts as a variant. So,
I don't count
if the game ROM itself changes too?
I try not. I've heard stories where sometimes like a reprint will have a newer version or something like that. I ignore those because then I'd go crazy trying to find out which ones may have had that. So
that's exactly
the same. We won't talk about that.
Yeah, see, if there's a sticker like on the plastic, like bonus stuff inside, like I don't count that because when you remove the plastic, it is the same. When it actually reprint, like the actual artwork where it has some like Target exclusive where it's actually on the artwork, that I kind of count as a variant.
So like the only at GameStop one that we've seen.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. But I don't need like every version of that. Like to me, that's not really a variant cover. It's just a different version.
I hear you. So there's still a few more games coming out on Friday. So we have Void Bastards. And what's interesting about this one is that Amazon and GameStop are showing a Friday release date. Best Buy is showing September 29th. So we will see when it's coming out. But I pre-ordered it from Amazon just in case. And then finally, WWE 2K Battlegrounds is coming out at retail. And that, as of right now, is everything that's ending pre-orders, opening for pre-orders, or releasing in stores. So it's a light week, guys.
Yeah, you guys should be able to easily get all the games this week. It only costs a cool
grand. You can if you
$1,000.
follow my checklist.
Yeah, it only costs a cool $1,000.
Oh, and then if no one realized, today was Shantae Day, so if you were worried about having money for next week, it's probably gone already.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Did you see the tweet about that already?
No.
Doug tweeted out saying the amount of Shantae stuff that's sold today is just insane. Just individual SKU wise, there were over 40,000 plus items sold. That doesn't even break apart the mega bundle either, which had 12 items in it. People love Shantae. Thanks for your support. That is insane.
Yeah. Yep. Well, good for them. It was definitely a good day. Hopefully all the employees got a free lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
More than a free lunch.
That's honestly what I was thinking. Is like, I really hope like their employees got something for this day, because like seriously, this is probably as big or bigger than when they have their like holiday sales.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm looking at their website and it's like a lot. I mean, it's Shantae everything, and they added steel books that exclusive to the other games. The slipcover, which I thought was pretty cool, and then just
I bet Barry loved extra steel books.
Yep, I got the steelbooks, and in fact, I was originally only going to get one, the slipcover. I was talking with a friend of mine who's a huge Shantae fan, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to take all the steelbooks and put them in the slipcover." And I said, I was actually thinking about putting all the regulars in the slipcover. And then I said, wait a second, why don't we just grab 2 slipcovers and just have all the steelbooks in one and all regulars in one? So we ordered 2 of them.
That's a pretty cool idea.
It's called Bad
Influences. That's what I'm
going to
be doing.
Nice.
Bad Influences.
Nice.
Oh, should we wrap things up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Nice. So, as JP forgot to mention, we do have Super Blood Hockey still up for pre-order during this crazy light week. You're getting in your last 2 weeks.
Yes. But to be fair, it is always at the top of my weekly releases as the first thing. But you're right. I should have mentioned that you can pre-order, if you're in the U.S., Super Blood Hockey from PremiumEditionGames.com. And if you're anywhere else in the world, Video Games Plus. And I did see this question posted today, so I'll answer it here. It is the exact same version. So that slipcover, the challenge card, all those goodies, wherever you pre-order it right now, either our site or Video Games Plus, it's the same edition.
Yeah, I will say that it's not our intent to create multiple variants if we can avoid it. Like in reality, yeah. Like unless we specifically in the future say like, hey, we're only doing this during a pre-order window, like just expect it to be everywhere. We're not trying to create anything crazy. If we specifically say it's going to be limited to this one specific thing, though, it will be. Like we'll make sure everybody's clear because, I mean, we still get questions on we only have U.S. shipping now on the site, and I mean I have on 4 different spots where there's a link to Video Games Plus, and we mention it everywhere, and we still get questions, so and we'll answer them every time, but like so we will be sure to at least have it available in like 20 places. Like maybe that 21st might have got it through.
You know, it's funny, JP, earlier you actually mentioned, like, oh, there was a news thing that we forgot to cover. There was another news thing that I just realized that we forgot to cover, which we probably have to cover next time as well.
Uh-oh, what was it?
The Xbox One announcement of date and price and everything.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely talk about that next week in the news for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's a big one. We need to chat about that. Let's so to wrap up, as always, we do have Switch Collector up for pre-order at HagensAlley.com and PremiumEditionGames.com. You have approximately 11 days to pre-order Super Blood Hockey right now at PremiumEditionGames.com for the US and VideoGamesPlus.ca for all international. All the shipping is affordable, JP. It's affordable.
Super affordable.
We listened to you all, so it's definitely a great price to get a great game. We get 40,000 sales over the next weekend. We will buy JP lunch. So that'll be fun if we get to do lunch. But you can find me on Facebook and the Twitter at Hagen's Alley and at Hagen's Alley Books on Instagram. Barry?
You can find me on Twitter at Hawk Hellfire. You can find me on Facebook, and you can find me on YouTube at Nintendo Fuse. And you can also find me all the time on the Premium Edition Games Discord, as well as our email. JP?
Yep, so jpswitchmania.com for those weekly release posts that I just read. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and definitely Twitter, JP Switchmania. Twitter is where I live. Also on social media for Premium Edition Games. I am that Twitter guy that's responding back to you, and I will give credit to Frank, who is handling Instagram and Facebook. Big thanks to Barry for Discord. But yeah, you could follow us. Definitely give us a follow at Premium Edition Games. And thanks for supporting us.
Frank the Tank.
Oh, and also a big thanks to Erica again for that amazing ad and the graphic design that she's been doing for our company.
Yes,
oh, yeah.
Very much so.
Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye.